Hello everyone, my name is Elizabeth Fleep and welcome to my channel. The last video I filmed was, I think, February 2019, and a lot of things have changed, starting from my apartment to my hair color, which is natural, by the way. I moved to LA 2 years ago, and I think it was in my first year, 2018, when I filmed my first video about my experience as a student at UCLA Extension. After that, I had at least 100 messages, further questions that I haven't covered in those videos. And after 2 years, or even probably more, I finally decided to answer all those questions that actually repeat themselves. And I was like, why not to help people and answer all of them just in one video? To save time for me, for you, for everybody else who is considering moving to LA and studying UCLA Extension. So here we go. Oh, and before I start, I want to mention that in this video, I would not talk about things like cost of living, getting your visa, submitting the application to UCLA. First of all, you can find it on the website and Google that simply. And also, a lot of things are different for every country, your financial background. So it's something that you can search, Google, and find, this information yourself. Here are my notes. I decided to choose 5 top questions people usually ask me. So the first question is, did the acting certificate really help you? So I guess the question implies whether I became a successful actress, whether I enjoyed my experience here in LA. So the acting certificate from UCLA is just, for me, was a basis, because I've never been trained as a professional actor, and that was amazing. And I just have to say, I think I mentioned it in the previous video, that UCLA Extension, the thing is that it all depends on the teacher. All the classes are great, but some of the teachers. But the thing is that it's more about what do you personally get out of these classes. Because a lot of people were turning up to the class not prepared, didn't learn their monologue. You can see literally that they're just, hanging out there, doing nothing. I wanted to get this experience of a professional actor, struggling actor in LA. And even though I didn't enjoy some of the classes, I still tried to educate myself as much as I can. So acting certificate in UCLA Extension is a great basis. But apart from doing that, if you are considering this acting job as a serious job, I would definitely consider taking extra classes in private schools with private teachers like Leslie Kahn, or Killian's workshop for commercial acting, or Annie Greenlay. She's amazing for teaching how to approach auditions. So UCLA Extension is great in general as a basis, but if you want to go deeper in details, probably you would need more information. The second one is, was it easy for you to find a job after completion? So, acting is obviously not a job that you apply once and you get hired for the rest of the year. And here is the thing. Once again, I cannot emphasize it more, that it all depends on you. There are so many factors that go in hand, your appearance, not meaning that you're beautiful or not. It's your type, whether the industry needs your type right now. Because now they're not interested in beautiful white blondes or brunettes. They want people of color. They want people representing different minorities. They want this diversity. As I said, appearance, your background, your connections that you might already have, or your ability to create new ones. Because networking, especially here in the US, is literally everything. And without connections, without those references, referrals, it's not easy. And I can understand how it works, because if you know personally someone, you have this personal connection, and you obviously already trust this person more than somebody that you've never met before. And things like, headshots, it's just a technical thing, but if you do it correctly, it's one of those doors that can get you to a lot of things here in LA. And obviously timing and luck. There is also a huge discussion about those people who are somehow able to appear in the right places and right times you cannot manage those things. And as I always like to say, that the luck is something that you can increase in probability of happening just by working more. But sometimes it just happens, So apart from obviously having an interest and talent in acting, there are lots of different other things, and you have to take it into account. I cannot tell you whether you're gonna make it or not. And a lot of people will even ask you, like one producer, he filmed The Meg. I asked him, like, can you be honest with me? Do you think that I have this factor? He was like, oh, it's very weird that you ask this question, because people who have this, they don't even ask it because they don't really care what other people think. And I was like, oh my god, that is amazing, because that is so true. If you know, you know, right? So if you know that you want to be an actor, you will do everything you can to become a successful, famous, everybody's loving actor. So once again, there is no right or wrong answer. It's purely your experience. The third question is, was it difficult for you to learn and study in terms of the language? It's something that I obviously have to mention. I've been studying English since I was 4, and I still struggle sometimes to speak as fast as I would do this in Russian. And I also have obviously an international accent, even though I try to do my best to speak like an American. But it's not even about the language. So if you want to become a successful actor here in the US, it's not even a question. It's obvious you have to speak English and proper English in order to be able to communicate with people. So for me, the problem was not the language barrier. For me, it was the accent issue. But if you are considering going to UCLA Extension as just, a more sophisticated, a more legitimate reason to explore LA and maybe to learn the language, yeah, that's totally fine, but you should be very honest with yourself and try to judge yourself as objectively as possible, whether you're doing this just for the sake of fun and getting this vague experience and learn the language, or you're here to become a successful actor. So once again, it's up for you to decide what do you want and what do you want to get out of this. The fourth question is, did you have any prior experience in acting? I think I've already answered this question like a couple of minutes ago, but I'll repeat myself that no, I did not. But so the thing you are doing right now, watching this YouTube video, it is something that I've been doing for like maybe 5 or 7 years, even though I did those huge poses of not posting anything for long periods of time. But I still had this feeling of the camera, and it's nothing in comparison with filming like real stuff on a set with hundreds of other people. But this YouTube experience gave me this basic understanding of myself, of how do I sound like and how do I look like in front of the camera. Self-esteem was boosted, and also obviously my confidence. And I should be honest with you, an interesting thing is that the industry is changing here in LA, in Hollywood, and not a lot of people like it, in a way that now when you go to castings, a lot of times they will ask you how many followers you have on your social media, like Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. And for them, it's also very important because they would be able to use your audience in order to distribute their product, like, to do this into a larger audience. Somebody would say that, oh, it has nothing to do with acting, like theatrical acting especially, but in real life, and that's what I want you guys to understand, that in real life there are things like business and art that should go together in order to be as successful as Universal Pictures level, Warner Bros. Level. So you cannot be ignorant to those kind of things. And now the rules are changing, and people are measuring your success overall, including your social media. So as more experience you might get, the more exposure you might have, and any type of really acting experience, because there are so many different ways and forms you can say like this is an acting experience. So once again, I think I'm gonna repeat myself throughout this video all the time with the same phrase, but like, it all depends on you. The more you do, the more you create, the better the situation for you will be, I guess, like in any industry. And the last, but I guess not the least, question is, how's your life being as an actor in general? Like, do you enjoy your life as an actor? And now I think it's perfect time for me to record this video, because it's been exactly 2 years since I moved out here in LA, pursuing this Hollywood dream. And I had my own goals that I wanted to try to achieve, and some of them were successfully achieved and some of them not, because throughout the way I realized that there are a lot of things that I cannot do. I do not see the value of doing them, and I'm not speaking about, like, you know, getting into bed with somebody I don't like just for the sake of getting the role. It's not that. It's something to do with the reality of financial instability, and also the mentality of a lot of actors and creative people here in general. Pretty general stuff here in the US, like healthcare and transportation. All of those things, for me, they do matter now. I had my own experience with economic system of the US, and I think it is very important for everyone who's considering moving out here, because it's not only about you becoming an actor, it's also about those issues like your legal status, your healthcare, your access to other benefits, or the absence of this access to those benefits. So I like to take things seriously, that all of this UCLA extension, how is it like for you? For me, it's a mix of very different things. Not only acting per se, but also, as I've said before, stuff like finance, healthcare, friends. I evolved throughout these 2 years. That was the most exciting time in my life. The irony is that it's not those things that I thought would make me happy. The things that made me happy and made me the person who I am today, they're like something very different from what I thought might change me. And that's amazing, because, you know, when you have this certain degree of unexpectedness, unpredictability, it's cool. And I really hope that everyone who watches this video will, first of all, watch the video that I've made previously, so you have those two kind of like sources of information from a person with a hands-on experience. But second of all, guys, try to think outside of the box and be as objective as possible about why you want to move out here, why you want to become an actor, what are you willing to sacrifice for that, financially and mentally, and probably physically, I don't know. So I really genuinely hope that this video made it a tiny bit clearer how was it like for me personally to study at UCLA Extension here in LA for acting certificate program. And if it's useful for you, let me know. Once again, if you have any other questions, feel free to ask me in Instagram or here in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because it's gonna show me that you are still here and somebody is still watching and needs help. And thanks for watching. Bye.